Welcome to the episode of Locked In. This episode is going to be going over 5 cycling lights, all from Amazon, ranging between 20 and 70 bucks. Let's get started. This review is going to be going over 3 headlights and 2 tail lights. I'm going to be covering features, battery life, who these cycling lights are good for, price, and my final thoughts. I wanted to make this episode to show you guys that there are reliable third-party manufacturers you can order from that do have high-quality products. I know cycling is really expensive, and it sucks when you have to buy all these accessories, and so you want to save the money where you can and where it's smart to. So I wanted to show you guys this one brand and seller that I found that offers a good variety of lights that I thought were pretty good quality for the price that I paid. So let's get into the review. First, we're going to be going over features. All these headlights feature a all aluminum metal body that is also water resistant. They all have a lithium ion rechargeable battery that charges via micro USB, and the 1000 and 1600 lumen lights also offer a battery bank style feature where you can plug your phone or small accessory into and actually pull charge off of it into your device. All of these lights feature a technology that auto dims the light if it senses that it's getting too hot so that you don't accidentally fry the headlight or taillight when you're using it. All the headlights use the same style mount that can be adjusted from 25/4 handlebars all the way to 31/8, no problem. For the taillights, the dual LED taillight uses a lithium ion rechargeable battery, and the single LED uses a CR2032 watch style battery, which is an extremely common battery. And finally, the larger 1000 and 1600 lumen light come with a wired thumb remote, so you can have full access of all the functions on the light, all straight from your grips on your bike. So now let's get on to battery life. For headlights, I only really focus on the high output number because I will always want to know what the worst case scenario is when using this headlight. The 400 and 1000 lumen light both burn for 2.5 hours on high, and the 1600 lumen light burns for 1.5 hours. Now obviously you can vary that drastically depending on the brightness mode and or strobe mode that you're using. And each one has an indicator light on top that will change from blue to red when you're low power and need to conserve battery life. Now let's talk about what light you should get, or who these lights are really aimed for in my opinion. Let's first start off with the 400 lumen light bundle. This is definitely an amazing option for any cyclist that's just getting into it. This is the best 20 bucks you can spend on lighting, hands down in my opinion. This is just enough headlight to get you through any group ride or small commute as long as it's definitely slightly lit. The rear tail light is a little lacking. I would definitely recommend to save up for an upgrade like the dual LED, but it definitely will get you legal. In pitch black, I definitely would then go to the 1000 lumen light. This thing is crazy bright. Even on a river trail at night in pitch black or down an empty street, this will definitely light the pathway. So if you are trying to push the speed on a late night training ride or early morning ride, you can definitely ride with confidence because you do see quite a bit out there. And lastly, the 1600 lumen light. This bad boy is definitely for the mountain biker or cross adventure rider or backpacker. If you're definitely riding somewhere where it's pitch black, I mean no light, the dual LEDs on this light definitely give you a wide berth on one of the lights and the other one is very focused. So you're gonna get a really wide spectrum of light that's gonna allow you to see a ton of stuff around you. This would definitely be overkill for any commuter or road biker, but if you just want that extra safety net of basically having the power of 2 HIDs from a car mounted on your bike in one convenient package, this is definitely the light to go for. Lastly, onto the taillights. Like I mentioned before, the single LED taillight isn't really enough for my comfort level if this was my only light, but it's a great blinker or smaller light if you ride in a group because you don't need anything that powerful with extra riders around you. Now the dual LED taillight is definitely a ton brighter and it's got really great side visibility, which is definitely a great feature because when you're riding in front of a car, you want it still to be able to see you. The main downside in my opinion is the design. I really wish you could mount it vertically because that would keep it more in line with the seat post and clean it up a little bit. I always feared that my legs would hit it when I was riding or sprinting out of the saddle. I never did, but to me it just looks bulky, but that's the only gripe I really have with that light. But if you're on a budget, it's definitely a huge upgrade from the single LED and I would still definitely recommend it. Now on to price. The 400 lumen and single LED light bundle start at $19.99, which is a crazy deal for that kind of power. The 1000 lumen light is $59.99, the 1600 lumen light is $69.99, and the dual LED tail light is $15.99. Now onto my final thoughts. I was definitely, honestly, super impressed with the build quality of all these lights. The metal body on all of them is weighted enough to where you feel like if you did drop it or did fall off your handlebar for whatever reason, it would definitely hold up. I think the function of having the USB power pack on the 1000 and 1600 lumen light is definitely an awesome feature. I know they couldn't put that probably in the 400 lumen because it wouldn't work that long, but I still would like it as a emergency situation. But still, all great lights, and I really was impressed with the build quality and the R&D they used into how they focused all of the headlights on all of their lights. Now on to things I wasn't really happy with. The mounts for the headlights is definitely a simple, easy design. It is pretty easy to get it on and off. The Only thing is, I didn't like how big and bulky it seemed like it was compared to some other mounts that I've used. It's definitely not the worst mount I've ever used, but it's definitely not my favorite. Also, I'm a firm believer that every single headlight should come with a GoPro style attachment for it as an accessory in every single box. For me, I definitely hate really cluttered handlebars, so being able to mount this underneath, like on a K-edge or a barfly, would be amazing, and I think this would definitely be a huge upgrade. And as mentioned before, I wish the dual LED taillight mounted vertically, but besides that, it worked fine. That's just something that I wish it did. I would definitely recommend any of these lights if the GoPro attachment or anything little things I mentioned aren't a deal breaker for you. All the links in the description directly to their page, and I know this was a lot of info, but I hope it was helpful. If you guys like this style of video to compare a few things at varying different prices for cycling, especially affordable things, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear some feedback. So thanks for watching this episode. Make sure to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. All the links to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook are all in the video description below. And thanks for watching the episode of Locked In.
Let's get